Hey, what's going on guys? This is Chunjiakuma, and today I want to show you how to improve your aim. Now there's a lot of things you guys do subconsciously that you don't even realize. Now I'm about to show you what those are, so pay attention and I'm going to help you increase your aim dramatically. So first things first, if you look at your crosshair, your placement is terrible. Most of the time I see you guys running around like this. My crosshair is pointed at the ground, yet I'm running forward. What you should be doing almost 100% of the time is aiming where you think the person's gonna come from because they might come from there. So instead of aiming at the ground while you're running up to this A site, you should be aiming at this doorway where they could be coming from. Because if they do, you'll already be ready so you can just start firing. Instead, what you'll probably be doing is this, and you'll be like, oh my god, shoot, 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 shoot. So that's the first thing you guys need to realize is your crosshair placement. Every single time you run around, always have it at head height, just in case someone who shouldn't be there decides to be there, and you'll be ready for it. Alright, so now that you know about crosshair placement and you realize that you just need to stop looking at the ground while you're running, this next thing is checking your corners. So let's say for instance this entire area is cleared, but you're trying to get onto this A site here. So what most people do is just this. They just come around, look around, shooting, and just hope that their raw adjustment aim will work out. That's definitely what you do not want to do. What you want to do instead is check every single angle one at a time. So, for instance, there could be somebody hiding up here, but be careful of this. So we're just going to pretend like this doesn't exist. So for now, you want to check your first angle. So the first angle is right here. There could be somebody hiding behind here, behind this angle here. There's always somebody maybe right here, and there could potentially be someone here, 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 and here. So, how do you check all these angles without getting completely demolished? Now, the way you're supposed to do it is check them one at a time, and you're supposed to be moving back and forth. Now, we'll talk about the back and forth thing here in a second, but first things first. When you check the angles, check them slowly, one at a time. Okay, no one's here. No one's at this angle. No one's at this angle. Now, if someone's at this angle, you just checked it and you're good to go and you can start firing. But if you would have checked this angle wide like this, your aim is going to be completely terrible. So this is exactly how you do it. Check 1, check 2, check 3, check 4, check 5, check 6, check 7, check 8, check 9, check 10, etc. So you just want to check all your angles one at a time extremely slowly. And you're thinking, well, how do I know what angles they are if I am just new to the game? Well, the first thing is experience, and the second thing is imagine if you were the CT side, where would you be hiding to catch the terrorists off guard? Now, there's a lot of people who hide back here, there's a lot of people who hide back here, and so on and so forth. So that's what you want to be thinking about while you're on the terrorist side, is checking these angles as if you were playing the opposite side. Now, the second thing you want to realize is when you do check these angles, you want to be careful because there might be an opera at any of these angles at any time. So, for instance, there's usually an opera behind this angle or behind this angle here. So if you want to check without actually having your entire body shown to them, just show your shoulder. Now this right here is showing your shoulder. Now you can't see them, but they can see your shoulder because your model is actually bigger than where your vision is. It's just wiggling back and forth like this, and it might bait out one of their shots. Now if you aren't worried about an opera, one thing you do need to realize is that you need to jiggle peek. Now the reason, this is what jiggle peeking is. You're basically pressing 80, 80, 80, 80 back and forth. And what this does is when you're pressing the A and going back to the D, so when you stop, so like right here stopping, right here stopping, right here stopping, this is actually making your velocity to 0, which makes your accuracy pretty much spot on. So for instance, if I'm just moving to the right like this and trying to fire, my accuracy is going to be god awful. There's no way I'm going to be able to hit these guys if I'm doing this. But if I'm jiggle peeking instead, say for instance this sign is the guy, right? If I'm going back and forth like this, my accuracy is going to be a lot better when I'm jiggle peeking, right? So I'm shooting right when I stop on the edge of my A and my D. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is your jiggle. You should never be standing still because if you are, it's going to be a lot easier for someone to shoot you. So what I like to do is I like to jiggle peek every single angle. So jiggle peek this angle, jiggle peek this angle, jiggle peek this angle, just in case, because you never know when someone's going to actually be there. Now, that's all fine and dandy when it comes to shooting of a regular weapon, but what if you're an opper? Alright, so the one thing I think operas do a lot at lower ranks is they just run around not scoped. Now, the problem with this is if you're running around non-scoped, it's the exact same issue with using the M4, is that you're just going to have to raw adjust your aim and just fire really quickly, and half the time you're just going to completely mess it up. So what you need to do all the time as an opera when you're coming onto site is already be scoped. Now when you're already scoped, it's going to be a lot easier for when you're coming around a corner. If someone's just like say for instance the guy's at the sign somewhere he's not supposed to be on an off angle. That's what it means. An off angle is when they're in a spot people don't generally hold. So for instance, if you're coming around this corner and you're pointing at this spot where, you know, their head or their body area all the time, and you see a guy right here, you're already ready for it, and you don't have to worry about, you know, just coming around the corner and be like, oh shit, and completely missing, because your aim is not going to be accurate when you're coming around the corner. So this is definitely something you need to work on, and it's something that you can do also with the op. You can also technically jiggle peek with the op if you want to, but it's not going to be nearly as good as if you're using, say, the pistol or the M4, etc. So these are some things to think about. This is a pretty short video and pretty easy things that you might already know, but it's something that I think a lot of lower ranks and even people up in the mid ranks, Master Guardian, Master Guardian 2, don't even realize that they're doing half the time. So pretty much learn to jiggle peek, learn to check every single angle one at a time. Make sure that you guys are always scoped when you're using an op, when you're trying to clear a sight, and just realize that when you're on the CT side, that's probably going to be where they are when you're trying to pre-fire. And these are just some easy tips, and I hope this helped you guys. If you guys have any questions when it comes to improving your aim, I'm going to have a lot more videos about improving your aim. This is just the first part of the aim series. And otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.